Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Mark. Today we're going to talk about the Magic Arena Decathlon event, which is a month-long event. So there will be 10 different Decathlon events that will run from today, or yesterday rather, up to January 1st. Right. And what are these events supposed to be? So as you can see here, the big headline for Decathlon is Play and Win Big in the Magic Arena Decathlon event. So what I'm going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the expected cost of playing, of trying to get to entries for the final Decathlon event, and also the expected value of that event. So how big can you win in this event? Like, what do we mean by winning big? So the way these events are set up is that the entry for the events are 2,000 gold or 400 gems for each of these events, of these 10 events. And you can enter any number of times. So there's no gold tax, which is good, right? You're not getting charged more if you're spending gold. Because 400 gems times 5, which is the typical, the standard exchange rate between gold and gems, will get you exactly 2,000 gold. Right. So, but if we look at the prizes for each of these events, whether it's best of one, which we have here, or best of three, which we have here, the only prize that you're really interested in is the prize that you get for getting to the very end of the event. That is 7 wins in best of ones or 5 wins in best of three. In either of those, you will be getting a Decathlon token for that event, as well as 3,000 gold. And you need a total of 3 Decathlon tokens across 3 different events. So one for each event. So if you enter 3 and then you get the token for each of them, then you have 1 entry to the finals. And you can have as many as 3 entries to the final. If you get 6 different tokens, then you get 2 entries. And if you get 8 different tokens, then you get 3 entries to the final. And what does the final look like? So here is the final event, which will happen on January 8th up to January 9th. And here, this will be so again, you can enter these events as long as you have uh, token entries for them. And like we said, we need 3 Decathlon tokens. You need 3 Decathlon tokens for the Arena Decathlon Finals entry. You get a second one when you get 6 Decathlon tokens. And for the third one, you only need 2 more. So instead of 9, you only need 2 more to get the third one. So you'll have 3 tries. If you complete 8 Decathlon events, then you're going to have 3 tries for this Arena Decathlon Finals. And as you can see here, so the reward is this. So if you get the 7 wins in the Arena Decathlon Finals, you get a complete set of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, which is like one of each card, not 4 of each card, but 1 of each card. You get the Jace the Mind Sculptor Avatar, 4 mythic rare wild cards, 4 rare wild cards, the gold medal sleeve, 3 player draft tokens, and 5 unhinged basic lands. What does that look like? These are what the sleeves look like. Pretty nice. These are what the lands look like. And then, of course, that is the avatar, the Jace the Mind Sculptor avatar. So now that we know what the prizes are, we're going to go into the computations of how much is going to take you, how much gold is going to take you to get these Decathlon tokens. Remember, you need 3 for the first entry, 6 so that you'll get 2 entries, and then 8 so that you'll get 3 entries. All right, so I have this Excel file for you. So we have this for best of 1, and then this for best of 3. And in this table, we can see the different game win rates. So you can have like as low as like maybe a 35% win rate, and I put here as high as a 75% win rate. And then if you have only a 35% win rate, then that means that the probability of getting a token in any one attempt, right? So this is the probability that you can win 7 games. You can get to the finish line. You can win 7 games before your third loss. Right, before your third loss. So that's, of course, if you only have a 35% win rate, that probability is actually quite small. And it's actually going to take you, on average, 89 attempts to get a single token. So definitely don't attempt the event if you think that your win rate is like 35% or worse. Now, if you have a 50% win rate, right, if you're average, you have a 50% win rate, then you have a 9% chance of getting the token in any given attempt in a best of one event, decathlon event, which means that it will take you about 11 times on average to get a token, which means that your expected cost for that token is going to be about 19,000 gold. And you need 3 tokens for your first entry, right? And so that means that it's going to cost you about 57,000 gold to get an entry, right? Now, 57,000 gold isn't a lot, right? It's 57 bucks, right? So if you think about it that way, even at a 50% win rate, you don't need to, it won't cost you an arm and a leg to get an entry to the finals event, right? Which is different, like for example, when we talk about the Arena Open. If at a 50% win rate and an Arena Open, a day 2 token in an Arena Open will probably cost you several $100s. Right, so you don't want to do the Arena Open if you have a 50% win rate. Here, it's fine, right? It's not terrible to do this at a 50% win rate. Now here, I just also provide you with the corresponding numbers for best of 3. So of course, it slightly changes because you have your game win rate, but it's best of 3, so you need to compute the match win rate, which we compute here. Now that said, well, we can say that the expected cost of getting one of the Decathlon tokens, and even the expected cost of getting 3 of them, which equals one entry to the Decathlon final event, isn't that big, right? It's reasonable. If you are a free-to-play competitive player, and the question that you want answered is this event good value, good expected value for me? Like if I invest this gold that I have for these decathlon events, do I have a better chance of getting something that's better than if I just say use them for constructed events or metagame challenges or drafts, right? So which has better value, right? So that's, if you want that answer, then we have to consider how to value the different prizes for the finals, right? So here we're ignoring the extra packs that you get in the individual events. Like if you finish 6, you get 3 random packs. Those are practically worthless, right? If you can get those anyway by like just buying packs with the gold, or just opening them in draft. So we're not going to consider those packs. We're just going to consider the gold that you get at the end of individual events, and then the prizes in the finals. So the finals prizes are quite challenging to value, right? The most difficult to value, I would say, is the full set of Neon Dynasty. So if this was paper or if this was Magic Online, then it's going to be very easy to value because there's actually published value for a full set of Kamigawa, or for a full set of Magic cards for a given set. So it's easier to value. I mean, actually straightforward to value it if this was paper or Magic Online. But since this is Arena, it's difficult to value. So basically, the way you want to value this is to give a value to, or how much you value each rare slash mythic. And you don't really need to differentiate between rares and mythics here because like both of them are the ones that are difficult to get. Like they're the ones that usually strain your wild cards, right? Uh, and some people are strained because they don't have enough rare wild cards. Some people are strained because they don't have enough mythic wild cards. Mythic wild cards are rarer, but at the same time, you also need fewer of them. Right, so I'm treating them the same. And so you want to give a gold value for them. So of course there's a cap for that. They can't have value of more than 1,000 gold, right? Because that's the cost of a pack, right? But if you draft, you actually get a lot more rares than just three. So you get more rares per draft pod than you would if you just bought a rare. I mean, if you just bought a pack for 1,000 gold, which means that the 1,000 gold is a cap, but the actual value that you want to put on a rare or mythic should be smaller than, lower than 1,000 gold. Right, so this is Frank Karsten's article from way back 2019, and you can look this up. I'll put the link to this in the description of the video, so if you want to read through it. But basically what we want to get here is that he considers that the value of a random rare or mythic is 412 gold. So there is a lot of assumptions that were used in getting to that number, but it's kind of reasonable. It's kind of a reasonable number. I mean, I would say that it's a reasonable valuation. Like if I do a draft, then probably on average I'll get about 6 rares. So that means that the actual value of a random rare is half of 1,000 gold. Is what I peg it at. So it's about 412 here, but what we're going to do is we're going to price it at a round number at 500 gold per rare or mythic, which if we consider that there are probably about 84 rares and mythics in total in Kamigawa, I mean Neon Dynasty, similar to other sets, then that would come up to about 42,000 gold. 42,000 gold. Right. Now, as for the rare wild cards and the mythic rare wild cards, so if you look back at this article, so Frank Carson has also valued them here at 2,472 gold. However, like I said, this was way back in 2019, and we didn't know really how Wizards is valuing their wild cards. But recently, Wizards had this Crafters Challenge where the prizes were all wild cards. So if you use that as basis, and this is an article that I wrote about that, and if you use that as basis, then you can get to, again, I will also post the link to this article on so that you can go through the math that I did here. But basically, if you do that, I mean, if you consider that event, the Crafter Challenge, you will come to the conclusion that on average, Wizards prices their wildcards at about $4.65 per wild card, which is not 2,400 gold, it's 4,650 gold. So it's a lot more than our previous valuation. So if you consider that, then that means that the 4 rare wild cards are worth 18,600 gold, and the 4 mythic rare wild cards will be worth 18,600 gold as well. The easiest to evaluate are the 3 draft tokens. We know that a draft token costs 10,000 gold, right? So 3 draft tokens, that will be 30,000 gold. So here are the usable items that you can win from the Decathlon final. The rest are cosmetics. So now valuing this depends entirely on you. Right now I set the value to 0 because I don't value cosmetics at all. I don't. But you can set your own value here. You can request for me to send you this Excel file if you want to do the math yourself and see what your expected value is depending on how much you value these 3 things. But for this video, we're going to assume that they have a value of 0 and we're just working with these usable items. So now that we have our valuation of prices, we can get to expected value. We can get to computing our expected value, and that's what this table here shows us. Right, so the finals event is going to be best of three. So you enter your game win rate here, and that this automatically calculates your match win rate, which is what you need in getting these computing these probabilities. Right, but also what you need here is your expected cost. So here, this computation assumes that your game win rate in the decathlon events that you joined is the same as your game win rate in the finals event. Probably not a very good assumption, and you can change that by simply inputting the expected cost here manually instead of relying on this formula which computes based on your game win rate. Right, so you can just pick out your expected cost, right? These are the expected costs if you're doing best of three, and the other one is the expected cost if you're doing sorry, best of one is here, and best of three is here in the green table. So you can just copy that for a single token, paste that here, and you will get your expected, and then you can input your expected cost manually, right? And then that will be used by the rest of the formula computations, right? So as you can see here, if I'm at a 52% game win rate when I was doing the decathlon event, then my expected cost is going to be about 43,000 gold for a single finals token. And my match win rate in the finals, if I assume that it's going to be, I have the same game win rate in the finals as well, is going to about 53%, which means that this is my break-even point. Actually, this the one that I put here, 52%, is the break-even point because that's where your expected value is almost zero. Right? The exact value is different. Of course, I can modify this to use a solver. I didn't, but about 52%. So that means that if you're at a 52% win rate, you on average will break even in this event. On average will break even in this event. Of course, that's given this valuation. If you change this valuation, of course, that's going to change the expected value as well. If the expected value is positive, then that means that on average you will generate profit by playing this event. And if the expected value is negative, then on average you will generate loss in playing this event. Right. So if you consider that 52% is your break-even point, is your where your EV is zero, that's actually not so bad. Right. So it kind of means that if you need to be, of course, better than average in any competition. You need to be better than average to realize good prizes, right? And this shows you that if you are just average, if you're just 52%, then you'll actually on average end up not losing anything and not gaining anything, which is okay. However, going back to that practical question on whether or not this is all worth it, I believe that if you only care about the value, like if you don't care about these cosmetics, right? The main issue is the full set. Is the full set because the rare wildcards, the mythic rare wildcards, the draft tokens, these are all like top level resources. They're top level resources. But the full set is not really a top level resource because you can get these cards by drafting, right? If you are like going the free to play route and you are good at it, then that means that you're probably drafting a lot, at least 10 runs, maybe 15 runs, or even more than that per set, right? And if you enjoy drafting, then you'll probably get the cards anyway, right? You'll probably get the cards anyway. So this is the main contention there, right? And if you don't value the full set at all, if I put 0 here, then suddenly the EV becomes very, very bad, right? Even at a 52% win rate. However, the impact is actually, in terms of win rates, actually very slight. This is because the full set is only offered if you get, or you only win the full set if you get to 7 wins. So here it's only in this cell that it matters. So while your expected value does drop to negative 4,800 gold, if you remove the full set, the difference in terms of win rate is actually just less than 1%. If I make this into 0.53, 53%, about 53% win rate, then as you can see, we go back to close to zero. So which means that on average, if you have a 53% win rate instead of a 52% win rate, right? So negligible difference, you're going to get back to, you're going to break even in this event. Right, so with all of this information, suppose you're still undecided on whether or not you want to use your gold in order to join these decathlon events uh, to aim for a shot at the Arena Decathlon Finals. So what can I suggest? So first, consider what are the events, the decathlon events, where you believe you have a good win rate. Right? So there will be 10 different events. We have two of them right now, the sealed event and the alchemy constructed best of one event. So consider in which of those events and the others, the other 8, you're going to have a good win rate, right? And only join those events. And by a good win rate, so as you can see here, the win rate depends on how much you have to use for this decathlon. If you intend to if you have about 60,000 gold stored up and you're fine with using that in order to get one entry into the finals, then yeah, you can. Even if you feel like you only have a 50% win rate for these events in the decathlon, then you can go for it, right? But if you only have, say, 8,000 or 9,000 gold to use, then if you feel like you have a 50% win rate, don't. Right? Don't enter that particular decathlon event. Maybe enter something else where you feel that you have a better win rate in that event. All right? If you're a good limited player, then there's sealed, there's draft later on. I think 3 of the events are going to be limited. If you're good at constructed, then maybe just hit up the constructed events. Right. And the second thing is right. So consider your valuation of these prices. Right. So here I have a very conservative valuation. I even put the full set at 0. Even if I put the full set at 0, these are still useful to me. Right. These are still useful to me. And you can see that well, these are really the most useful resources in the game, like I said. And so you can still win something relevant even if you remove the full set, even if you remove the value of these. But of course, if you really want to get that Jace avatar or that Metal Sleeve, an unhinged land, so then these are not valueless to you, right? So you should be putting some value to this, and then you can see how the expected values are going to change. And so those could be something that you could use, right? Your valuation of these, your consideration of the events and your win rates in those events, and the available gold that you have in with respect to the expected cost that you expect for 3 tokens. So considering those will allow you to hopefully make a more informed decision on whether or not you should pursue these events. And of course, fun is always a factor, right? If you believe that a decathlon event is going to be fun, then of course go for it. If you have the gold for it, why not, right? If you're going to enjoy it, why not? In my case, I did start by doing the sealed, and I did it thrice, and went as far as 6 wins, but no 7 wins in 3 tries. So I used up 6,000 gold, which is fine. I have plenty of that. But then I tried the Alchemy Best of One event, and I got the token for that after 1 try. Right, so that means that I got 1,000 gold back, so I'm at 5,000 gold total cost, right? I'm at 5,000 gold total cost, and I have 1/3 of the number of tokens needed to get an attempt, to get an entry for the final. And my plan right now is to just do the events that I enjoy. And that's probably going to be the Crimson Vow draft and then one of the constructed events, probably the standard event, or maybe the historic event. I don't know, one of those two. Uh, so in essence, I'm just targeting one Arena Decathlon and final entry. And so that means I want to keep my costs low so that even if I just get to one win and just win what's one win? I think just the mythic, just the rare wild cards, right? So even if I just get 4 rare wild cards by winning once, I'll still be ahead, right? If I spent less than 8,000 gold to get that one entry, all I need to do is to win once during the Arena Decathlon finals to feel like I didn't waste resources. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. And if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video and then ring that bell so that you'll be notified if I make when I make more videos. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you again next time.